Welcome! You are directed to watch this video by the volunteer coordinator of Sonoma and Petaluma State Historic Parks. We ask that you watch this video before you attend your first training day. California State Parks requires that all volunteer docents hear and understand the information that's presented in this video. California State Parks also supports equal access. Volunteers with disabilities who need assistance should contact 939-2149. We'll start with an introduction to state parks. Then, we'll go over the state policies that apply to you as volunteers. And finally, we'll talk about the Volunteers in Parks program, or VIPP. Beyond being required watching, this video will help to introduce you to the state park system that you'll be volunteering for. And it's useful. This video also covers safety, regulatory, and communication issues that you'll wind up using in some way every day that you volunteer here at Sonoma or Petaluma State Historic Park. Don't forget, there's a quiz. I recommend that you have the quiz with you as you watch the video. In this first section, I'll tell you about the history of California state parks and introduce you to the places and people that make up the Sonoma sector. My name is Ari DeMarco. I'm the volunteer coordinator for the Sonoma and Petaluma State Historic Parks. I coordinate the recruitment and training of volunteers, as well as volunteer recognition. I maintain all of the forms and records for volunteers, and I work with docents to improve their experiences and the experiences of park visitors. The first state park set aside for preservation and public enjoyment was Yosemite Valley and the Mariposa Grove of Big Trees. The state park system was set in place in 1926, and now state parks falls under the heading of California Department of Parks and Recreation, or DPR for short. For a more in-depth history on the background of California state parks, visit parks.ca.gov and choose About. Now, California has the largest state park system in the U.S., with 280 parks and over 70 million visitors every year. The mission of California state parks is to provide for the health, inspiration, and education of the people of California by helping to preserve the state's extraordinary biological diversity, protecting its most valued natural and cultural resources, and creating opportunities for high-quality outdoor recreation. California state parks are organized into districts. There are about 20 districts within the state of California. Here's ours, Bay Area District. The Bay Area District is divided into 4 different sectors. The Sonoma sector includes Robert Louis Stevenson, Bothy Napa, Vail Grist Mill, Annandale, Sugarloaf, Jack London, Sonoma, and the Petaluma Adobe. 4 of these are state historic parks, and of all the Sonoma sector parks, only Sonoma State Historic Park and Petaluma Adobe State Historic Park are not co-run by partnerships. There are several historic sites within the boundaries of Sonoma State Historic Park. You're probably all familiar with the Mission. Across the street from the Mission, the Blue Wing Inn is currently vacant. State Parks hopes to renovate it soon. The barracks and soldiers' quarters are located close by and have a large courtyard behind them. Down the street from the barracks is the Toscano Hotel. Visitors can step just inside the door to look around. At the back of the hotel is the Toscano Kitchen. General Vallejo's home is located slightly outside of downtown Sonoma, but it's still part of Sonoma State Historic Park. The Petaluma Adobe State Historic Park consists of the adobe and the lands surrounding it. Crystal Battles is the ranger based at the Petaluma Adobe. Here she is checking in on the adobe's small flock of sheep. Let's head back over to Sonoma and visit the Sonoma Sector headquarters. This is Rob Pickett, the supervising ranger. Hi, Rob. Vince Anibali is the sector superintendent. He also works at the sector office with Rob. We also have a great maintenance staff. They like to look good. In the upstairs of the barracks is the offices of our museum curator, Carol Dodge. Let's go pay her a visit. Here's Carol, hard at work. Hey, Carol! This is part of the museum collection that Carol manages. Jennifer Hansen is a park guide. She works at the Petaluma Adobe. Park aides and park interpretive specialists work with the day-to-day running of the park. They answer phones, take fees, lead tours, and in general are the first point of contact for parks visitors. Park interpretive specialists often work to lead tours for 4th grade classes. In the downstairs of the barracks is the barracks bookstore. This bookstore is run by the Parks Association and helps to fund docent activities. The Parks Association is a cooperating nonprofit dedicated to supporting preservation and interpretation at these 2 Sonoma sector parks. Patrick is the manager of the association bookstore. Hi, Patrick. Now, let's go over some state policies that are important for volunteers to know. State parks mandates that volunteers are not responsible for enforcing park rules. You can inform visitors of rules and alert a staff member, but that's all that we ask. In that same vein, state parks shouldn't assign you duties that you don't feel comfortable doing. Specific safety procedures for each of your sites will be covered during training. Work together to help keep parks safe. If you see something that you think is unsafe, tell a staff member. As a state parks volunteer, you should refrain from speaking or acting in a way that might make another person feel intimidated, coerced, or threatened, no matter the intent. California State Parks also has a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is defined as unsolicited and unwelcome sexual overtures, regardless of whether they are written, physical, verbal, or visual. Such conduct has the potential to affect work performance negatively or create an intimidating, hostile, or otherwise offensive work environment. Workers' comp insurance is provided to long-term volunteers, which means that if you get injured while volunteering, DPR's workers' comp program might cover you. Tort liability is, in this case, an action by a volunteer that results in injury or damage to another person or property. For example, if you are leading a tour and somebody trips over a prop you left out, any lawsuit that the injured visitor might bring against you can be defended and covered by Department of Parks and Recreation. It's important that you dress professionally when giving your tour. You are a representative of California State Parks, after all. And a professional appearance will also help to give you an air of authority when leading your tours. Don't forget to wear your name badge. You'll receive one of these once you've finished your mentoring period and have graduated to lead your own tours. Let's talk a little bit about some of the guidelines for the Volunteers in Parks program. As a docent, you should be open and honest with park staff and volunteers. Present a positive attitude and offer to help. Always be trying to improve your tours and be open to change. Volunteer docents are expected to be dependable and punctual, familiar with parks and other units, treat their duties seriously, follow all park rules, respect the cultural and ethnic diversity of California, and refuse any offers of work-related gratuities, gifts, or favors. Don't use your docent status for private gain, although if you mention it at other parks, you may get in for free. We ask that you don't communicate your personal views under the guise of state parks views. The Volunteers in Parks program provides a way to manage the wide range of volunteer activities that occur in the state parks. As a docent, you're considered a long-term volunteer. You maintain that status by volunteering at least 3 hours a month in your park. If, at the end of the year, you've spent 40 or more hours volunteering, you can receive a district-wide parking pass. And if you volunteered more than 200 hours in the year, you'll receive a statewide parking pass. Volunteers are recognized both throughout the year and at our annual Volunteer Appreciation Dinner. You're invited! Thank you for volunteering with California State Parks. I'm Ari DeMarco, your volunteer coordinator. If you have any questions, please give me a call at 939-2149 or send me an email at ari.demarco@parks.ca.gov. Don't forget to bring your quiz and your forms to your first training day. I'll see you there. We've covered the introduction to the state parks that you'll be volunteering at, some of the relevant state policies, and details of the Volunteers in Parks program. Thanks for watching, and welcome to Docenting!